before I even answer that question, let's go to a century-old or multi-century-old question whether entrepreneurs are made or born. And I don't think I have a crystal ball there. There are certain traits, and I'll walk you through those. So I think even that question is not answered. And I'll tell you, when we get the students, we get those 5 or maybe 10 in if we are lucky, where you can see that fire in that student. You can really notice that very quickly. The student is desperate to do something. And not only that student, his mom or dad, they are almost equally desperate, and they already figured it out that this child is on a different journey. And when they come to Moonshot Junior, we really provide them a very different possible path and what they should do and not. So let's keep those 5% aside. Now, for those 95% or 90%, I don't think we ever promised that we will give entrepreneurial training and then your child will become an entrepreneur. I think we are nobody to say that. So that will be absolute false statement. What we are doing here, we are really giving a training how to nurture an entrepreneurial mindset. Those two are very different things. But should everybody have entrepreneurial mindset? Absolutely. This is the need of the hour. PwC came out with a report where they are saying the job of the future or the workforce of the future is changing drastically. There is a report came out, and they have put together several scenarios where they are saying there is a possibility in next 10 years there might be less than 10% full-time job. By no means they are saying that everybody will start coming out on opening big companies and start hiring employees. What they are saying, the nature of job is going to change. Freelancing, gig economies, they are going to become prevalent. And are you ready for that? And I don't think you really need to go far. You have seen different people with very different mindset when it comes to career all day long. I mean, I have a construction worker, a handyman, Wilson, and I'm sure you all have seen this Wilson. He do not know what he's going to do after 2 days or after a week. That's kind of job he get. But he is busy all the time. And sometimes you negotiate and you say that I'll pay $250 and he's asking for $300. He might not even negotiate. He is fine to let that $50 go and not work for 2 days versus really negotiating there. And surprisingly, most of the time this Wilson is busy. So I think he really do not sweat if he do not have a job for a few days here or there. But on the contrary, I'm sure you have seen this personality also. There are Rachel of the world who has been in a full-time job for last 10 years, and all of a sudden, if they are going to lose their job, they sweat. They lose sleep for days, sometimes months. They become miserable, and because they never train themselves for this kind of work. And then you will find the same example in the consulting business. For example, I have a friend, Anita. She is always in this consulting job, 3 months here, 6 months there. She take a break in between and she go for vacation. And I never saw her stressing out because she always finds something. That's how her training happened. The future of the job is going to be that. And I think we really need to prepare our kids for that kind of future. That is really entrepreneurial mindset. That is what we are teaching here at Moonshot Junior. So going back to the question, are entrepreneurs really born or made? I think I'll take a reference from a book from Anthony. It's called Heart, Smarts, Guts and Luck. And first few things are rather simple to tell. So heart, really, this might be something you're born with. What you care, what you don't, what you think is right or not. More importantly, are you really listening to that heart? Or you are going to suppress your feeling and do something else which your heart does not even permit. So I think that's what I think about heart. Only so much you can train, especially in what we are doing at Moonshot Junior. Now the smarts, definitely, that's very coachable. The more hands-on exercises we give to these students, they have exposure to failures, then all of a sudden you start recognizing the patterns. That's really, I define as more smarts. That is very coachable. Now, when it comes to luck, of course, luck has hundreds, sometimes thousands of parameters. That's very difficult to control. But you can build like lucky networks. You can teach them to be more open-minded, more empathetic, which are really part of the design thinking process. This is what we teach. So we can really teach them so they can use this lucky network. When the opportunity arrives, they can avail it. So I think that's all we can do here. Now, when it comes to guts, I think that is really something which we feel strongly that is the key barrier when you can be a successful entrepreneur or not, or whether you can possess successfully an entrepreneurial mindset. So the gut definitely had several parameters, and a lot of research has been done. So really, when it comes to guts, really concerns about financial security, reputation, maybe knowledge gap, and many more things. And really, when we think about guts, are really about having the courage to initiate, endure, and evolve around your idea. So one thing what they notice, and again different research suggests different things, but in general they will come around 80%. All the successful entrepreneurs of today, when they were young, they have this entrepreneurial venture, early childhood venture, when they were 10, 12, 15. It could be literally a proverbial paper route, it could be lemonade stand, it could be other childhood enterprises, and that has helped them strengthen the guts or things of that nature. And really, how those are being built, any type of publicly exposed role where the failure could be a commonplace, that really helped training that guts. The exposure of failure, the more you have, I think you can train yourself faster. Of course, when you are an adult or older, the cost of failure could be huge. But when you are really 10, 12, 15, the cost of failure is pretty much nothing. You have a longer runway, you can fail, you can learn through it, and you can try again. So I think that's where the early childhood ventures are very crucial to really train yourself as an entrepreneurial mindset. The other things are really, when we think, are the support of the network. When you have people who you can have their back, I think you can take much more riskier job. So I think how to build a team, how to build a reliable network, I mean, that is something we try to coach, and that's really, I also consider as part of the gut. And then the third thing is really the training of risk and the whole risk mitigation. So can you really avoid all kind of risk? I think that's very hard to do. But once you see the risk and how you mitigate, how you can make it less painful, that's also another training. And the more failure you see, I think you will able to train yourself for really the risk and risk mitigation. So I think those are really the traits. As I said, like some of the things like hard, I think difficult to train, especially at Moonshot Junior. That might not be something we will able to do beyond a point. Though we are trying to expose our kids to some of these charitable tasks and helping kids maybe in a different atmosphere and so on. Some of that impact can happen, and like luck, there is only so much we can do. But rest, the smarts and really the guts, those are very trainable, and we can impact them big time. And some of the parts, I strongly believe, can be trained a lot better when you are early. It just becomes more and more difficult when you are older. So that's where we take that very seriously here at Moonshot Junior. And I think the kind of atmosphere is going to happen 10, 20 years down the line when these kids are going to go in the workforce. I think this is the time to train them and do the right things for our future generations. Thank you.